Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Liwell. I'm from Saigon National University, SIU. So I'm teaching there for about 2 years already. So I was invited here to present some of my topic for this morning, which is the SAT test preparation in math part or in math section of SAT. So most of you, I think that you are all teaching mathematics. So all of the TAs are teaching or are preparing math exams for your quizzes, SIT works, and monthly exams or monthly tests. Now, this SAT test preparation will help us to understand what are the composition or what are the requirements or what are the topics involved or integrated in our monthly test exam. Now, the bird's eye view or the overview of this topic is already discussed by Mr. Fred this morning, right? So what is SAT, what is SSAT, and what are the test construction or what are the sections of SAT in terms of English, math, and science. I think they discussed about the science now. Okay. So now on my part, I will be able to give you just a view or just an overview of what is math, math section of SAT. Actually, math is the original section or original part of SAT, or even in other test examination conducted by different agencies or the different countries, or just like SAT, Cambridge A-level, O-level, GAC or Global Assessment Certificate, which is in Australia-based and American-based also. SAT is also the same. SAT has this math section. In all examination given by all international examinees or international accreditation, math is always included in the test. So the student have no choice. They cannot run away with math. Okay? Now, mathematics is the original section of SAT and has a long given student trouble because if we are not going to prepare them to take the SAT math, they will have a problem. Why? Because the composition of exam or the topic in mathematics in SAT is in junior high school. Now they are going to take it in their senior high school. So most of them have a stat knowledge already. Have a stat knowledge already. They forget about everything, every topic that they have discussed in their junior high. But for us, our role as teachers, we need to remind them or we need to drill them again with all of these formulas, all the topics in junior high school by giving them an examination which is appropriate and also the same as timing with the SAT math problems or math questions. This comprehensive training is to give you the tools necessarily to blow the SAT math section out of water by designing your test in the monthly exam, even in your SIT work, even in your quizzes, and everything that you do in your classes or math class. What is this? What is SAT test? The mathematics section of SAT are less tests of their knowledge. Arithmetic, geometry, and algebra. And their ability to reason, unlike in English. But many students find difficult about these questions because of this timing. They are being taught this topic in the middle school. Most topics taught in high school are not included. But you can integrate it in your high school lectures. The math skills required are of basic standards would be within the reach or within the topic of grade 10 or 10th grade student. Actually, in all in all practices of all examinations given by the accrediting bodies or accrediting agency, there are always two parts of the exam. One is multiple choice, and the other one is the grid-in. Okay. In math questions, there are multiple choice and grid-in questions. Later, we will be discussing about what is grid-in questions. We will familiarize them. We will familiarize them on how to answer, so that every time that they're going to take, or every topic that you're going to introduce with them, you have to introduce the grid-in questions. So later we will discuss it. And the most popular is always multiple choice. There are 54 questions in all, and it's divided in 3 sections. First, there are 25 minute sections with 20 multiple choice questions. Usually these are the easiest part of the exam. Now the 20-minute section with 24 multiple choice, the student must be able to answer each question by how many minutes? Or less than 2 minutes, right? Okay. So you have to design it as 2 minutes. Now second is 25-minute sections with 8 multiple choice. So how many minutes for second section will the student have to answer each question or each problem? Right. This is medium scale. And the last is 20-minute section with 60 multiple choice questions. So these 3 types or 3 sections of SAT has its own format. It could be multiple choice and it could be grid-in. And what is good in SAT? All of these questions, there is one section will represent as an experimental section. This experimental section or experiment section is not included to their grade or is not included to their marks. There are 54 scored math questions on one test, but remember, there is an actual SAT test. It contains one experimental section of 25 minutes. Either of the 3, there will be an experimental. So meaning, either the students cannot solve it, either the students they have to guess it, or anything that is pertains with it. So there is in actual SAT or SAT test, there is an experimental section which is also 25 minutes. So each of these 3 could be one of those, or one of these 3 is an experimental. But this is not. This section could be math, writing, or critical writing, or critical reading. But experimental is not included to their exam, or not included to their total marks. This is used for research purposes. So which of these 3, and we don't know, even me, I don't know. I have no idea about it. Within each of the 3 math sections, the questions are arranged in order. Okay, in order of increasing difficulty, meaning they start with easy, and then second would be medium, and the third would be hard or difficult. The grid is also simple and very simple to understand. This is composed of the answers, which is a self-response of the student to the math problems. The columns and the rows represent each answer for each question. Okay. Now, in designing this, we have to understand that all of these topics has been discussed or they have been learning from their Vietnamese classes. So teachers are advised to drill them with their vocabulary of math and also drill them on how to attack all of these problems. The grading questions has their own format. Okay. Student produce response question or grading, the question type that stimulate their natural math test math test taking experience by offering questions outside the multiple choice format. So these three sections, there is always been a grade in question. So whenever the students find or look at this questionnaire and they are not aware of this grading question, they will take a lot of time to understand, to analyze this grading. It will take a lot of time. So their time will already consumed by reading these guidelines. So if we are going to train them how to answer these grading questions, they will have no problem when they're going to take the exam, because they will consume all their times in answering this question. Because that is 25 minutes. They will consume 5 minutes for reading all this instruction, or how to do this reading question, or how to read the problem. So they will take about 5 minutes to do that. So 20 minutes left, so they cannot answer it properly because they have already pressured, or they will be pressured in answering all these questions. Now, these are the things that you have to remember, or that you have to take note about the grading. They're supposed to come up with their own response. The catch is that you have to fill their answer into a funny looking grid. Later, we're going to see, you're going to have it. There are 10 grade-ins on the quantitative section or the mathematics sections of the SAT. So grade-ins account for 1/6 of their quantitative score. Because all of the sections in all of these problems, there is always 10. Okay, there is always a grade-in question for their grade-in problems. Okay, to answer this, okay, the students must fill out the grade with 4 boxes in column of ovals and everything, so on and so forth. Now, this is an example of the grade-in question. So, the teachers, the teachers of mathematics are expected to come up with this kind of grade-in answer sheet. Okay. Now, there are 4 columns, and there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 rows. Now, expected that all of this row and all of this column must be filled out by the student. First row or the first column, the digit must be